I know that these ideas are for language teachers, but I'm sure they can apply to other teachers, other disciplines with some variations. So first, to start off, why do we need to work on our profile? I mean, it's like every other professional development. Why do we need to take courses? Why do we need to read more? So basically, it's to better understand your potentials, to highlight your experiences and skills, to be seen for the right reason and by the right people, to help you in getting opportunities, and to connect with people from inside your community and outside your community, and also to continually develop as a teacher. Now, there are 3 steps for developing your profile. So the 3 steps are: know yourself, expand your network, and take actions. So I'll start first by know yourself. Now, one way of knowing yourself is, or one strategy that I sometimes use is SWOT analysis. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with SWOT analysis, but it can be used for teachers and businesses and a lot. I mean, some people use it and some people feel comfortable with it, but it doesn't mean that it is the only way for you to know to know yourself. So what is the SWOT analysis? So basically, the S is for strengths, the O is for opportunities, W is for weaknesses, and T is for threats. Basically, what you do is you become very honest with yourself. You sit down, bring a piece of paper and a pen, and you start jotting down what are your strengths, what are your areas that you need to work on, and these would be your weaknesses. What are some opportunities that you would like to try out? And then what would be some threats that would damage your goal? If you keep this on the side and you keep coming back backward and forward to it, you will be able to get to know yourself a little bit better. Now, once you've done, I mean, again, this could be one way of doing it. Other people do different things for getting to know themselves. Now, once you've identified what are your areas of strength and what to work on, and what are some opportunities you would like to try and to get away from threats, this next step would be to expand your network. Expand your network is basically, who do you know? Who do you know in your field? And throughout the years, you can start to get to know a lot of people, because it's actually a small, I mean, the ELT is a small world. And there are several ways to expand your network, one of which is to become a member in an association, for example, IATEFL. It doesn't have to be IATEFL, it could be any association. For example, it could be your country's TESOL, if you have one. For example, in Egypt, we have the Nile TESOL, or it could be another association that you frequently attend their conferences or webinars or professional development events. For example, ELT Ireland. It could be completely different from, I mean, could be totally away from ones, I mean, the well-known ones could be, for example, I'm a member in the Africa ELTA. So there are several associations that you can become member. And once you've become a member, it's very good, because you will start to know people and you'll start to get to know their backgrounds, you will talk together, and you will start exchanging ideas. Another way of expanding your network is to join groups or pages on Facebook or on social media, for example, Teaching House, or the ELT Footprint, Bridge Council Teacher Community. There are several ways to get to talk to other people from different countries with different backgrounds. Once you've joined pages and groups on Facebook or on LinkedIn or Twitter, I mean, it's very highly recommended that you start to engage in discussions and trade strategies. Ask questions, be chatty, broaden your knowledge. So not only are you joining, but it's a very good idea because you get to read about things, you get to ask questions. It doesn't matter how experienced or not experienced you are, or how many years you've been in the ELT field, because a lot of I mean, a lot of the experienced people go to Facebook pages and ask for help and ask for a worksheet, or say, we're teaching this class for the first time. Can someone help us? So it's okay to do this, and engaging in the discussion will give you the chance to know other people and to talk to other people and to get to know more about what's happening in the different parts of the world. And finally, I mean, not finally, but I mean, one of the ideas of how you can expand your network is to identify with groups from outside your immediate circle. So we're all the time in the ELT circle. So you're working, you're teaching, you work in a school or an organization, educational organization, you talk to students, you talk to teachers. So at some point, it's also a good idea to identify with other groups that are not ELT related. For example, Dare to Lead. I don't know if you're familiar with this one or not, but it's a very interesting group on Facebook, and it has interesting ideas that would take you away a little bit from the ELT world. And there's also a self-awareness group on Facebook, which is really interesting, and it has different ideas outside the ELT. So what do you do to expand your network, and what do you do to get to know yourself is totally yours. These are just ideas of how you can get yourself to know other people in the field. Now, to take actions, which is step number 3, I've tried to sum up in 4 leaves to match the background of the presentation. So basically, what is your plan for 2022? So I tried to get a little bit away from take a course or join a course, because I think in 2020 and 2021, all we have, I mean, most of us, what we have been doing is trying to take either courses on how to teach online, watching videos on how to teach online, trying to understand the hybrid world. So I've tried to get away a little bit with 2022 outside this circle. So I've thought of 4 ideas. There could be more, but these are some of the plans for 2022, suggested plans. Share. So share experiences, lesson plans and worksheets, and we're going to see some ideas of how you can do that. Publish articles and lessons, speak at conferences and SIGs, and contribute in blogs and ELT communities. So let's take one step at a time. Okay, so with shared experiences, there are several ways you can share your experience as a language teacher or as any subject teacher. One of the most famous one, and which has become very famous during the pandemic, which is the social media. So having a Twitter account or a LinkedIn account could help you to share and take part in the teaching and learning community. Another idea is the ELT forums, and ELT forums, they were very popular at some point in the past, but I'm not sure now. But basically, what you can do is you can either start a forum or take part in a forum. Once you've started a forum, you can send the link to your colleagues or staff members. You can send it to your students, and it could be a very interesting way to get to talk to each other outside the Facebook newsfeed, outside classroom time, if you want to share or talk about topics related to class or outside classroom. Now, I've given an example. I'm not promoting for anything, but I've given an example of one forum, galleryteachers.com. Again, I'm not very sure if you're familiar with it or not, but you can also create your own forum, and it's very easy and it's free of charge. You can also take part in a blog or for a chance to reflect on your work. And again, one example of a lounge, a teacher's lounge, is the PBS lounge. It's a very interesting one, has a lot of teachers from different parts of the world, and it gives you the chance to talk about your work and to see how other people might be facing the same issues you're facing in class. And Edutopia is another link, is another website which helps which encourages teachers to write and share their experiences. It doesn't have to be a lesson plan. It can just be any experience or any story you have from inside your classroom. You can also share lessons. So video-based lessons are very interesting ones because you can ask your students to send you a list of the videos they like to watch, and you can design your own videos in ed.ted.com. It's free of charge. All you need is an account. You upload the video, it takes you step by step, and you create a lesson. And once you've done so, you can send it to your students to watch it and work on it. It's very good with skills lessons, and it's, again, it will be their choice. So I think it will be motivating for them to work on. You can email lesson ideas or plans, or you can share photos of your class or projects you've done with your class, and you can do this through teachingchannel.org. They welcome ideas, especially that come from real classes with real students. And finally, you can help other teachers with low resources, or you can help teachers who are unable to have access to the internet by sharing ideas or sharing content, lesson plans, ready lesson plans. And you can do this through sharemylesson.com. Another idea, which would be to publish. So I know that sometimes teachers feel, oh, I can't write. If I send my writing, no one is going to accept it, or I'm not a good writer. I'm not a writer. I don't like to write. No one is going to look at my writing, which it's not true. It's completely not true. There are a lot of different ways to publish your work. So you could basically publish your lessons and resources, and this could be, it's very easy. As I said in the previous slide, you could publish your lesson plan, a video-based lesson, or you can do a self-designed worksheet, and there are several websites which take in ready-made worksheets, and they will they will take it, they will modify it, and they will just post it. And then you can use it to send it to your own students as well. You can write articles to magazines, and there are a lot. I've just put down here 2 examples, but I mean, there are a lot of places which take and accept and are open for teachers to send their articles. All you have to do is to find the place where you would like to publish your writing and just send a lesson plan or a short article. And it could be as simple as a good experience in teaching my class, or the worst experience of teaching my class. What have you learned from it? How can you work on it? So real writing from your real everyday teaching. You could publish practical ideas, teaching ideas. Again, remember, there are a lot of teachers in different parts of the world where they don't have the same privileges, maybe like you. Maybe they don't have access to the internet, or maybe they don't have smart devices, or maybe they can't photocopy material and they need them digitally. So publish your ideas, get other people to see what you're working on, because we all work very hard. And I think it's all, again, it's a small world. You publish, you get to know people, you get to help others, and you get to see a way of how your work has meaning. Now, for speaking, again, conferences could be expensive. So let's try locally first. So why don't you start an initiative by starting to speak locally in your community? So plan, start, organize, present a series of workshops, teacher training workshops, free of charge to your local teachers. I mean, later on you can do it for money, but I mean, for a start, why don't you go ahead and plan this? A lot of the teachers in our communities, again, do not have access to conferences and SIGs. Maybe they don't have Facebook accounts to know about the events we advertise for. So start with your local community and take it from there. Again, the workshops you're going to plan could be as simple as presenting one of your lessons that you have done to your students. So it's not too much work for you to do, because you're already doing it for your own students. Conferences, I mean, I always look for the free ones, which is, I think, is okay. And you can find conferences in the conferencealerts.com. They usually advertise for all the conferences all over the year. I mean, sometimes you have favorite places where you would like to advertise, Equals, for example, or ELT Ireland, or it depends on where you're located and what kind of access you have to these conferences. Now, recently, I've become a fan of SIGs. I've been a member of IATEFL for quite some time, but it was only recently when I started becoming a fan of SIG. And I've learned a lot by becoming a SIG member. A SIG is a special interest group. So it is usually a part of an organization like IATEFL, for example, or if you have a TESOL organization in your country. And basically what happens is sometimes they want volunteer work. They want volunteers to help. Sometimes they would like people to present for the SIG, and so on and so forth. So I think it's also a very good idea for you to join a SIG. And finally, to contribute in a green project. This has been going on for some time, and I have witnessed some of the green projects that have taken place in other places, and I think it's a very good idea to get your students involved in this by doing a green project related to ALT. So a lot of the lessons now revolve around recycling, how to have good use of energy, especially with the screen time, the amount of screen time your students have been exposed to in the past year and a half. I think now is the time to get out and to do some green projects. So why don't you start one as part of your professional development? A blog. Well, I have the first blog I've followed is Sandy Millen. She's presenting next, and I'm a huge fan of her, and she helped me a lot to build my own blog. At the beginning when I did it, no one followed me because it was done incorrectly, and just she came in and she talked to me and she helped me do it. So start your own blog or follow. There are a lot of other blogs that you can follow. And become a part of the ELT communities, because again, as I said, once you're part of a community, you will get to see what other people are talking about. You will get to see what kind of challenges others are facing. And sometimes when you read what is happening in different parts of the world, you kind of appreciate what's happening in your own community. So I think joining an ELT community is a very good idea. So stay in the loop. Don't isolate yourself. Subscribe to newsletters. There are different newsletters that you can subscribe to. Teaching House is one of which. ELT training is another one. There are a lot other of newsletters you can join, and follow the updates. One Stop English always has updates on what's happening, Macmillan English, Pearson, and a lot of different websites would give you updates of what's happening in the ALT world. If you're unable to travel or join a conference, if you're unable to publish your own work, you just need to get updated and to see what's happening in around you, and just to get outside the classroom and see what's happening. So basically, this presentation is to tell you that developing your profile can be as easy as ABC. Well, I've borrowed this idea from Lucy, a friend of mine and a member in another special interest group. And I've tried to, as much as I can, to do it as ABC, but I couldn't do all the letters. So if you could do this in the chat box, it would be great. So basically, to develop professionally and to have your own profile or portfolio, if you want to have your own e-portfolio, you can always do this. So A for letters and B for blogs, start or follow. C for chat, and go and chat with other people. Diversify your groups and don't limit yourself to only ELT, the ELT world. Expand your horizons and your networks. Follow other people and follow updates. Get to know yourself and help others. And for networking, and P for publish. Speak for S for speak or share your ideas, and U for update your social profile. Now let's see in the chat box if you could add other letters. I was unable to find. What would you do for the other letters? Do you have other suggestions? Let's look at the chat box and see. Oh, okay, right, webinars. Thank you, Sandy. Excellent, training. I'm gonna add these guys once we're done with the session. Okay, what about, okay, thank you. Membership, yes, definitely, memberships. Yes, observing colleagues and peer observation. P for peer observation and peer review, yes, thank you. Okay, so basically, as we go along and put other letters in the chat box, again, the aim of this presentation is putting your work together in one place, not only focusing on one area of professional development, but looking at different ways of professionally developing yourself and putting it together. So start creating your profile, updating it on LinkedIn or Twitter. If you're interested, you can also you can start your e-portfolio, which is very easy and can be done through a Google account, or if you want to have it on a different website, if you're more interested in, I mean, if you're not a Google or a Gmail person, but you can put all your stuff in one place. You can, once you've started a blog, you can do it. And I put in the link in my presentation, the link to Sandy's blog, which she has everything about herself. So it's all in one place. And once you've done this, you will be able to see how what your strengths are, the areas of strength, and you will try to work on your areas of weakness and have more opportunities and less stress. So let's see what we have more here. Okay, subscribe, learn. Okay. Excellent. Okay, be a substitute teacher. Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. A lot of different ideas. I'm going to add all these letters into my presentation, so next time I have all the letters there. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. And please, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat box. And I have here my email if you would like to connect with my Twitter and blog and LinkedIn. Thank you very much, Lizzie, and I hope I am on time.